You're staring at your phone late at night, rereading our last messages. Your mind is racing, your heart is pounding. Because you're scared this loneliness will never go away. A loop of what if spins through your head. What if I done something differently? What if she still cares? What if she just misunderstood me? Are most of the common questions asked by men. So what do? Well, you start posting like nothing happened. You start hanging out with girls, drinking, going into bad habits, but at the front, you just want to make sure she feels the regret of saying no to you or breaking up with you, right? But here's the part that stings the most. You are acting exactly like the kind of guy she rejected. The avoidance, the pretending, the trying to look unbothered, you're eventually proving her right. That she was right in the long term and that her choice was the right one, instead of becoming the man she admires now, but cannot have. So here's the real question you need to ask yourself right now. Do you keep being the version she expects you to be? That guy that I just described. Doing nothing, just pretending, while eating himself up, crying at night, just thinking, what if I done something differently? Or do you become the man she admires, she really wants, and that the regret sits in her soul? That you become the man that even you can respect. Well, if that is the case, stick around then, because in the next few minutes I will explain 7 ways how you can become that man. The man of confidence, the man of honor, and the man of respect. So let's get into the first point. Well, the first point is allow yourself to feel grief, pain, and emotion. One of the worst things most men do is they sit in silence and just continue. No, I do not want to feel it. No, I don't want to feel it. No, I do not want to feel it. Well, at some point, I'm going to draw it for you. I have my whiteboard again. So, let's draw with me. So, this is the line. This is the point of breakup. Well, at the first point, the emotions are strong, but you can hold it off. But at some point, it goes this, and it goes this, and it will never stop. That is what's happening to you. You're just continuing in a loop when there's no end. But in the end, the pressure will keep piling up and won't go away. You need to let yourself experience that pain. What is one of the most common examples? I like to compare it with debt. Because debt is not funny. And at the front, you do not want to show it. That you're poor to other people. Because they might judge you for being emotional over something, which is totally normal, by the way. But in the end, if you just push through and let the pain sink in and get others to help and allow yourself to feel the grief, you will overcome that moment. It's one of the most relatable things I felt recently. I got rejected. I said it in a short. But the most painful thing was allowing myself to feel that pain. When you can do that, it's amazing how fast the pain will go away. So, allow yourself to feel pain and grief. Now, the second point, I highly advise to anyone who is dealing with someone. Because for most people, I'm just a trustworthy person. And what I say is remove any reminders of that person. Whether good or bad, it does not matter. If you just want to forget a person out of your head and want to become it neutral in your head, that there is no activity playing around in your head anymore, delete every reminder. That means any pictures, any text, any social media, it does not matter. Just make sure you do not have the possibility to see any reminders of that person. So he or she can follow you, but you cannot follow them. You cannot see what they're doing. And if you're doing that, the pain will go away much faster. Because then it's just, you do not know what's going on, and you're continuing with your life. And that is exactly the moment you're looking for. That you're thinking, why do I care evenly? I cannot see what they're doing. I do not care. Why would it bother me even more? And that is just, your brain has a space to let all that emotion go. Now, this first thing may sound a bit strange, but the best way to forget someone is to make every memory the worst. Even if it's a good memory, if you have a long trip, a great time talking at a restaurant, does not matter. Just write down every bad trait about that person. Why? You may be thinking. Well, the science behind it is very easy. Science says that if you want to forget someone faster, you need to feel angry by them, because then it does not matter a single bit to you how they're feeling. That is why most divorces are happening inside of anger, because it does not matter. But if you only think about good times, it will hurt, and it will hurt, and it will hurt. But if you just write down, bad influence, always controlling, always takes my money, every bad thing you can remember about her, he, they, them, name something about that person, every bad thing, write it down, and make every good thing a bad thing. As for the fourth point, use distractions, but wisely. Because if you use distractions that keeps reminding you of the great time you had, you will be back at square zero. And I love drawing, by the way, so I will draw it out. Then you start using my previous 3 points. So the emotions keep piling up. Now, well, you're using them, you get lower, you start to forget, everything is getting better, and then at that moment, you do it not wisely. No, what you're doing is you allow yourself to remember the good times, and then suddenly it goes back up. And when it's getting traction, it's gaining momentum like crazy. And then it's not just subtle, no, it shoots up. And it just stays here. And then you're back at square zero. That's where you're back. That is what you're doing. So do not do that. Use distractions, hobbies that you care about. For me, the best thing I like to do when I want to free my mind, just go out for a run. 5, 10, 15 kilometer run. It does not matter to me as long as I can just put my mind off. Making videos is a great way for me. Just fill your time wisely. If it is golfing, football, just hanging out with friends, just make sure it does not allow any memories to come back. Well, the fifth thing is something most people are scared of. But I can tell you from experience, it is the best possible thing you can do. Talk with someone about it. Because then, even though the problem is not fully fixed, it feels like all the pressure is gone. And that is what I had. Once I had a great friend. She had a bad time. She was not raped, but she was sexually abused. It was not in the term raping, but it was not great. And she keep putting off, and I just keep pressuring her to tell her, because I knew there was something wrong. And she said, I did not like how you've done it, but the end result, that was the moment. I cannot even describe it. That's how hard it is. But it comes down, she valued the end result more than how I did it. That the pressure was off of her, and she can talk freely about it without being judged. That is one key problem. Go to someone you can trust, a parent, a friend, you know, who cannot judge you. That is one single thing you need to watch out for. But it just allows you to ease off the pressure of your mind and of your shoulders. Because if you do not do that, the pressure will just be there, the memories will just be there, and then there won't be any progress. Sixth thing, establish a new routine. Make a routine that suits a new life, a life without that person. That can be new hobbies, going to the gym, reading a book, you can name it. Either you can fill it up, like I said, with things you already do liking, or experience something new in life. But anyway, just make sure that there is no possible way to have a memory about that person. That's what this new routine. And the seventh and last thing, do some physical activities. Why? It balances stress hormones and it puts you in an overall better mood because of dopamine. Because what most men do is they go onto Pornhub, and what they do is just allow the dopamine to flow in and just step out of the moment. It's like taking drugs, actually. That's how you can compare it with. But with physical activities, your stress hormones balance, your mood improves, and especially if you do it out when there's sunlight, vitamin D is one of the biggest boosts in dopamine you can get. It's so much of a natural booster. That's why you always see people happy when there's sunlight. Because everyone's feeling good because of dopamine. When it's raining, everyone is down. Because then they need to get dopamine somewhere else, and 9 out of 10 times that's not a. So, these are the 7 ways to become a man of honor and respect. And just allow yourself to feel that pain. That is one of the biggest keynotes I can give you right now. Allow yourself to feel that pain. It's not wrong to feel pain. Actually, it's better to feel pain. Because otherwise, you're seen just as a robot. And that's the worst thing you want to be. So, I hope this helps you something. If it did, please let me know. And I hope to see you in my next video.